In one word or one phrase, if we can describe this speech, we're going to hear from Mr. Justus Kisaulu how he escaped from the jaws of death. Promises to be a fascinating story. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming, without any further ado, Mr. Justus Kisaulu.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Justus Kisaulu, the former general manager of Jazeera Palace Hotel in Mogadishu, but now I'm currently the general manager of Jazeera Group of Companies here in Nairobi. It's with great pleasure that I have been given this opportunity to give this maiden speech on hospitality amidst terrorism. How can you survive 3 attacks in 4 years? That is the story of Jazeera Palace Hotel in Mogadishu, Somalia. Hospitality industry plays a very important role in our economy. In my view, the growth of the industry is directly proportional to the GDP and cannot be overlooked, despite the dangers posed by terrorism. The 5th annual HOTELIER Summit in the Sub-Saharan Africa is a testimony that we can overcome terrorism and grow in this industry. Jazeera Palace Hotel opened its gates in October 2012. Little did we know our first guest was going to be the newly elected president of the Federal Republic of Somalia. He was not coming for the official opening, but Jazeera Palace Hotel was going to be his official residence for the next couple of days. We knew this was not going to be a walk on the park. Delegates started streaming in to deliver messages of goodwill to His Excellency the President. On the third day, 5 minutes after the Kenyan delegation checked in, as fate may have it, we were under terrorist attack. And a suicide bomber wearing an explosive vest had exploded at the main gate, followed by 2 active shooters. The least presidential guard unit swung into action, and in less than 3 minutes, the attack was neutralized. Though we lost 2 policemen who were manning the main gate, the president checked out later that afternoon together with his security team, but we had to come up with a detailed security plan on how to protect our customers, staff, and property, something which every player in the industry should or ought to have done. The best weapon to guard ourselves against terrorism is prevention. There is no doubt an effective security plan will go a long way towards securing the hospitality industry. We need to engage security experts who can help us to manage the entry control points, as popularly known as ECP, for both vehicles and pedestrians. We need to partner with the suppliers of security equipment to supply and install bollards, body and luggage scanners, and CCTV surveillance system, amongst other measures, so as to ascertain that whoever makes to the hotel does not pose any threat. Hospitality industry is almost capital intensive, and subsequently, don't expect security to come at a cheaper rate. But at the end of the day, these measures will bear fruits and play a role in the return on investment. When it comes to security, the buck starts with the management. Remember, they reserve the right to admission, so you have a very important role to make sure the hotel is safe, and they should report the suspicious behavior of any guest, staff, to the authorities. Because in many cases, terrorists use hotels for planning and surveillance. And before an attack, there are always signs that all is not well. Terrorism is a global problem, and every hospitality outlet is prone to attack. We must have mechanism of minimizing the loss of life and property if the worst happens. This can be done by building bunkers, strong rooms, fitting security films on all glasses, having an evacuation plan, in case of active shooting, which must factor all the people with special attention to the sick, injured, shocked, children, aged, physically disabled, and even the guests who could be sleeping. We must have an emergency lighting on the stairways and corridors, because power supply will be cut off as a matter of security concern. We must do anything possible to protect ourselves. A proper crisis management plan should be put in place to fight or deter the enemy from inflicting more loss. As we contact the authorities for help, emergency numbers should always be at fingertips. Remember, in terrorism, a second lost is too many. In January 1st, 2014, at around 1930 hours, we were under attack for the second time. This time by two vehicle-borne improvised explosive devices, VBID. Just like the first attack, they were met with resistance from the security team and support from government forces. We thank God we suffered no casualties. On July 26, 2015, at around 1600 hours, I was in my office in the first floor when we were attacked by terrorists for the third time. A truck filled with explosives had hit the hotel perimeter wall from the main road. For a few seconds, I could not believe what I was seeing or hearing. I only imagined that could be a bad dream. The window and the floors and the door in my office were missing. As I peeped through the window, debris laid on where we used to have a conference room. This time, I knew probably I had a few seconds to confess my sins before dancing with the angels. This was followed by heavy gunfire, and that confused us more. At this time, I found myself sitting on the floor, browsing on my phone. And yes, I was ready to make the first call to the Quick Response Unit, QRU, and the message was short and brief. It is Jazeera Palace Hotel, and we need help. Make sure you have ambulance on standby. As I looked at the window again, and I saw one of our security guard walking at ease, I drew to my conclusion, certainly we were out of danger. I stepped out of my office, and there was no standing door in the vicinity. At that time, we were a full house. And the guest profile was from 4 embassies who were residing and working in the hotel, to business executives, NGOs, civil servants, among others. And a conference meeting of about 70 participants was going on. A quick scan around the hotel. The unfortunate was confirmed. I could see injured people, but the worst moment at that time was one of our guests who was unconscious and on a stretcher. Unfortunately, we lost him on arrival to the hospital. We suffered a few more fatalities on our staff and dozens of innocent citizens who were passing by. Indeed, a very sad day for Jazeera Palace Hotel and the hospitality industry at large. May their souls rest in peace. The structural damage was so huge, such that the building was not fit for occupation. We had to come up with an evacuation plan, something not easy in Mogadishu, because of the availability of quality facilities and security concerns. And in 2 hours, once a vibrant hotel was turned into a ghost of its own self. Up to this day, tears roll freely every time I remember that day. Indeed, a dark day, and the most challenging day in my life. Clearing of the debris started that evening, and in a month's time, we were back to business. During the relaunch ceremony held in November 2015 at Jazeera Palace Hotel, Somali government representatives, diplomats, and civil society organizations celebrated the new and vibrant look. And most importantly, terrorism was defeated. It was clearly evident The poison that does not kill you leaves you stronger, as you can see me today. And above all, the Somali spirit of resilience embodied in the Jazeera Palace response to attacks, which should be shared across the industry. Today, I have moved to Nairobi, Kenya, as a general manager for Jazeera Group of Companies, which I'm spearheading its expansion plan to other regions of the Federal Republic of Somalia as a leader in the hospitality industry, amongst other areas of interest in sub-Saharan Africa. In conclusion, we cannot allow terrorism to bring down the hospitality industry. Ladies and gentlemen, as worthy players in the industry, we must be ready to defend our investment and consumers of our products and services. In my view, Somalia is open for business. Mogadishu is open for business. And Jazeera Palace Hotel is open for business. And guests from all over the world. In that regard, I think the 6th annual general meeting for IDE should be held in Mogadishu, Somalia. The time to invest in the hospitality industry in sub-Saharan Africa is now, if not now. I thank Ideas Designed and Executed, IDE, for organizing this 5th annual Hotelier Summit and giving me this golden opportunity to address this wonderful congregation. Secondly, I thank you all as worthy players in the hospitality industry for your precious time and listening to me. Thank you all, and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Justice. Before you go, Mr. Justus Kisaulu, so many things that we have taken away from that speech on how we can overcome terrorism and ensure that our investment in hospitality is not damaged and not forsaken. The 6th annual Hotelier Summit Africa in Mogadishu, Somalia is definitely a possibility. But before that, we would like to thank you for spending your valuable time with us today. And as a token of our appreciation, we'd like to hand over a memento to you. And I request our director, Ganesh, to come on the stage and hand over the memento to you. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please hear it once again from Mr. Justus Kisaulu?